Autobots' home planet of Cybertron. Cybertrons. 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 Cybertron. Cybertrons. Cybertrons. Cybertron. 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 Cybertrons. Cybertron.
We now return you to the Children of Primus.
And welcome. Another Children of Primus Frenzy Freestyle Sunday. How is everyone doing?
Oh my God, they let us back on YouTube? You're kidding me.
Well, I'll tell you what I almost did. I almost said, welcome to the Prime Dynamics show, because I'm used to hosting. So, so I had to catch myself real quick. So my apologies.
No worries. And since, you're able to swing by, quickly tell people where they can find you and what you've been up to.
Well, I decided to switch over to third-party Transformers, so I'm completely out on mainline. And so, as you can see, all of these toys behind me, I decided to create a store called primedynamix.com, where I'm selling everything in my arsenal and replacing it all with third party. Nothing's been open. It's all damn near brand new since I've had it. And some of these things I've had for over 4 or 5 years and never been open. So it's pretty much brand new. And so that made me decide to turn this into an actual store. So I got some wholesale accounts, and then I'm going to have new products coming in pretty soon. So that's what I've been working on, and also been doing the Prime Dynamics show with my TF committee brothers. And we've been doing that every Friday, just being crazy, talking Transformers and having a good time.
Nice.
Oh, and I had another baby too, so I'm off on paternity leave. So,
wow,
I go back. I appreciate you. I go back to work in about 35 days. I've been off for the last 4 months, so I've been kind of enjoying that, being with the kids and stuff. So,
nice.
Yeah, a lot going on.
Nice. Mr. Magnus, what say you?
Oh, nothing real new. Got a few things in, so we got some reveals later. Same old. Got my homework done.
Yes.
That was interesting. I haven't put pencil to paper in probably 25 years.
Oh, you're back in school?
As far as drawing, no. It's Professor D came on last week and told us all to make a drawing of our favorite part of Transformers 1 from the movie.
Interesting.
Whatever it would be. And I used to consider myself a pretty good artist. I now paint more than anything, but pencil to paper, other than drawing blueprints, was something I haven't done in a long time. And it's not bad. I've worked on it for about 30 minutes.
Nice.
It's decent. So when we get to that point, it'll be something.
There he is.
Yo.
How are you doing, and what say you?
Okay, first off, I was never good at doing homework, like ever. I wouldn't say I wasn't good at it. I just never did it. Didn't do it this time because I couldn't figure out a nifty way of drawing the credits because that was my favorite part.
Wow. Just write a whole bunch of names down.
Well, as Prime Dynamics, did you get a chance to watch the new Transformers movie?
I did, and the craziest part about that whole movie was that I was in the theater alone. I watched the whole movie in IMAX 3D. There was not another soul in the theater but me.
Wow.
And this was at 5 p.m. on a Thursday on the 19th of last week.
Yeah, I've been seeing images around of people saying it's like, either the theater's empty or no one's there, and it basically bombed. Yet everyone enjoyed the movie, though.
So, from my understanding, it's looking like it's going to do what 86 did, and obviously it made $5 million, $6 million at the box office when it took about $1.5 million to make. So obviously it's a win, but it's not the win that they were expecting. I think the same thing's going to happen with this. Once it gets to like Vudu, Fandango, and Amazon Prime Video, everybody's going to buy it to rewatch it again, so we can have more discussions about it. So I think they'll make their money back, but it would have been nice to see like a nice 100 million over the weekend or close to it worldwide, something like that, but it just wasn't in the cards. And I think for me personally, I think a lot of people were biased to buy it, especially G1 fans. So they were going into it like, this ain't for me. Why even bother? And it was more for us than expected. To me, it was more for IDW fans, if anybody, the way I took it.
Okay.
But overall, great movie. I enjoyed it, especially the second half. There was a lot of questions, and it made me become a historian of Transformers. Now I'm looking back at the 13 Primes, the introduction to Megatron, and what really happened, the Council, how shady they were, Sentinel Prime and Zeta. I want to know all of these things. So I ended up finding a comic book store in Texas that had Megatron. So I was able to get all 4 copies of the miniseries they released for $6 a copy. So I'm going to dive into these, understand it, and kind of put my own twist of what was going on back there to kind of understand the story. But so far, I've enjoyed it. It was a great movie. Recommend it if you haven't seen it. I think going to P1 eyes, you don't really have to because they're going to reward you. A lot of the things I was expecting to Easter eggs are not just the normal parts of the movie.
Is this mic muffled for anybody else?
Yeah, your mic's cutting up again.
How about now?
There you go.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I may need to reboot. I think I was having some Wi-Fi issues yesterday. But like I was saying, like when they were showing a whole bunch of G1 characters in the movie, I thought they were just going to have like a small little cameo, and that was going to be the end of it. And then they just kind of focus on Bumblebee being stupid and, the relationship between Prime and Megatron. But, I think we got what we wanted, and I think it's a suitable movie for G1 fans where it kind of met in the middle for the new generation and for ourselves.
I agree, and I mean, most people kind of had the same similar sentiments for the movie. I think the one other thing that a lot of people said in terms of the commercials and advertising, they really, in a sense, what they showed us in terms of what the movie was going to be. The movie's completely opposite of the commercials and advertising where we kind of thought it'd be more of an Earthspark type of a vibe, and it wasn't that at all.
So I was expecting Guardians of the Galaxy, a little bit of a Beast movie, and the movie with Star Wars where Anakin becomes Darth Vader. That's what I was expecting, a mashup between those 3 movies.
That's funny. That's what I was saying the whole time during the previews. It's like, man, this really feels like a Guardians of the Galaxy movie with a Transformers skin on it.
Right. And I think what probably didn't help it was, these interviews that they did with some of the voice actors when they were asking the Transformer questions. And, I think Keegan called Ravage a doodle, saying he was completely off, saying. So when you're not taking it serious, obviously you're not too big of a fan. It's a job, you don't do any respect to the characters as we all, love. And we take that as disrespect. So I know you're probably joking, but some people actually took that serious and were like, okay, I'm not watching this shit because of how you were portraying our characters. Yeah.
Well, I think one of the other reasons that it didn't get as big of a blast out as we were hoping it would, not that it wasn't a good movie. I thought it was great. but it opened the same in the United States. It opened the same weekend as Beetlejuice.
I don't think that's enough to discourage it, in my opinion.
No, but unless you were taking kids, if you were going on a date, are you going to go see Beetlejuice, or are you going to go see a cartoon Transformers movie?
Well, if my wife wants to stay married, we're going to go watch a Transformers movie. Respectfully. If she's watching, respectfully.
My fiance bought our tickets and said, "Hey, we have to go this night because I have to work every other night this weekend." And I said, "Oh, okay." Well, and so we went to a 4:30 matinee.
Oh, boy. Yeah, there was no way in hell I was missing this movie because I had to see it for myself, and I know people in our circle were going to constantly be talking about it. So I wanted to really understand what was going on. And like I said, this movie did wonders for me because now it makes me appreciate the IDW side, which I never cared for because G1, the cartoon, was always law to me. Even though it never gave us too much backstory, like with War Dawn and I think one of the other episodes where they go in that portal and stuff and they go back in time for a bit and Rodimus or Optimus dealing with the Matrix, we barely had any history. And so to see all these wonderful... Yeah, that too. And, we get to see all these wonderful stories that IDW created. It paints a bigger picture. And if you are able to merge those and paste those two stories together, it actually kind of works in certain, scenarios of story that you can go and look at that lore to paste it with G1 cartoon. So I'm appreciative of that.
Speaking of the people that went to go see... Oh, I'm sorry, Magnus.
Put Kitty's comment up.
Let's see. Oh, there we go. So he said, Deceptikitty says TF1 made 71.9 million as of yesterday.
Although it's appreciative, that's still not enough. We need to get to at least almost 2 by now. So we need to go see it again, keep watching it so we can get that trilogy, and then they maybe venture off to doing something we want to see.
Yeah, right.
I know. I'm just trying to be positive, just in case Hasbro's listening.
Well, speaking of the people that went to go see the movie, I found it weird that my theater that I went to was a little less than half full, not one single kid.
I didn't bring mine.
I found that a little weird for opening weekend. Yeah, that not one single kid.
And that's probably where the money went, because that's what I got 4 with me and my wife, and that's if we would have brought all 4 plus my wife, that's $125 when it only cost me $20 to get in. So
4? What are you trying to do? Start your own pit crew?
My own combiner team. That's what we're doing.
There you go.
You know what causes that, right? You got to stay out of the sun.
Yeah, right. Well, it's over now. I'm done. We retired.
Well, the definition of overpopulation is too much of a good thing.
Yeah. Well, we're done now. I promise you that. It's in my third-party budget.
At least you know what that part's for.
But I think maybe it's a region thing or a generational thing, because I saw a lot of posts in the different Facebook groups of fathers taking their sons or daughters or children to see the movie. But I will say I don't think I saw any children when we went to watch it last Saturday. Like, it was just mainly adults, or the youngest, I would say probably like mid-20s.
Well, I think for me, the reason why I left my kids out because I wanted to really pay attention to the history. Because, like I said, we're getting 2, maybe 2.5 hours of just history on Transformers. Like I said, in the cartoon, we got snippets. So we really want to pay attention, process stuff that may have happened in the cartoon that we picked up on, and how does this translate? And if you're an IDW person, how does this go inside with what they're doing? And now looking at the IDW side, like, where the hell was the council? And I know they can't really show that side of the cartoon because it's made for kids, but there was a lot of gray areas in there, like the battle pits where Megatron was fighting. I would have liked to have seen that over Velocitron. So, kind of is what it is, but hopefully we'll get some of that stuff in part 2. So if they make the part 2.
Yeah, instead of who was it? RC complaining that someone was a cut rate GoBot. Show the pit where I never read the comics, but I remember there was a panel I've seen many times with Megatron destroying Psykill, That would have been really cool
Yeah,
to see.
I just saw that. Yeah, that was dope. Yeah, I was like, are they taking shots at GoBots? I was like, what did they do?
Well, I mean, they own them now, so they could say whatever they want.
Indeed. Oh, I got all those too. Yeah, they
Nice.
were being selfish. It's like, oh, we can only give you one. I was like, the hell you can. I need all of those.
I couldn't even get a cup at mine.
They were stocked with
They
cups.
didn't have anything at the showing that I was at. I asked for it, and they were like, "Oh no, but we've got these Beetlejuice glasses." And I was like, "No, I'm here to see Transformers. I'd like a Transformers one." So a buddy of mine went to the next showing, which was at 7:00, and they had the Transformers glasses out. So he bought me one.
Dope. How are you guys
That was
feeling
all
about
that we had cups here. They didn't have keychains or anything else. I actually bought these off of eBay.
Oh man, damn! The way the girl, she like didn't care about her life. So like, as far as working there, so she probably would have gave me tons of them if I asked them. They had like boxes on boxes of those keychains, so she gave them up pretty quick. How you guys feel about the toy line? You guys in on those or?
I'm waiting
Is
to
it
see if they
G1?
make a masterpiece one because the ones that are in mass production look like crap.
Yeah.
Megatron is a four-step brick.
I saw it. I was like, this didn't appeal to me.
No.
So what you're saying is that new toy line's really kiddied down?
Oh yeah, it looks like something from Dollar General store.
Well, they got two versions though. I mean, obviously they got the kid version, then you got the Studio Series version. Now, and a couple of builder kits. So I'm not sure who the companies are, but they're dipping their hands in it. Those look all right. But if you want that one that transforms, probably Studio Series is probably your best bet until they do some type of an MP, maybe Legend scale line.
And
Yeah.
that's what I'll be waiting for because what I've seen in the stores right now looks like ass.
Yeah, and then I'm still torn. Do you go for War for Cybertron's Cybertronian mode with Optimus Prime, or do you like this new one for the movie?
Me?
Yeah,
I like G1.
me too.
I have it over there. It's all right.
Yeah,
It's all right, but yeah, I like G1 and I like my masterpieces.
yeah. I wish they
Now,
would
when
have
you say-
adopted the video game alt for the movie. That would have been sick.
Yeah, I was about to ask, like, because I'm completely G1. That's all I do. So,
Yeah.
when you say War for Cybertron, are you talking about the Netflix trilogy?
Yeah, my
thing or
apologies.
The
Yes,
game?
the Netflix. Excuse me. Yeah,
Because
Netflix.
I know the game's coming out with like some figures.
Yeah, the gamer editions. Those are cool. But if I'm talking about the actual cartoon on Netflix. Yeah, that version of it.
He does look pretty G1 in that.
Yeah. I don't know. It's kind of growing on me. I like it a little bit, but I want to see what it looks like with the trailer. If they do the movie version with the trailer, I would like to see it.
Well, what's going to really do it for me is when they do finally make a Megatron, if he has that 3-barreled cannon instead of the single-barreled cannon, I will buy that.
That's it.
Because that was wicked when he first manifested that in front of Starscream and shoves all 3 of them up into him. I was like, oh yeah, boy, yeah,
Yeah, right. Yeah, that was dope.
Nice.
Yeah, and a company called New Age, they're doing a Megatron that's supposed to match up with the Studio 86 Optimus Prime. So, and it's a gun mode as well. So if you're interested in that, look out for New Age's version. It's pretty sick.
Oh boy!
So the
Don't
ones we
get
looked
people
at last
started
week
on
didn't
that one.
transform.
Huh?
The ones we looked at last week didn't transform from New Age. They're statues.
Not for New Age. That's was it Yellow Park or DMDX? Those are the two that are non-transformable. Shout out to my guy TNT Neon Prime. That's my TF committee brother tuning in. That's my guy right there. You need to get him on the show one time. Very educated on toys and just a fun dude. He'll definitely bring a nice, good conversation to you all. So check out TNT Neon Prime and check out his channel.
Nice, definitely. And he says he got the cup and the light up bucket too. Also got a comic book along with the keychains and posters.
Oh yeah, he went crazy. He went crazy. Yeah. He got to see it a little early before everybody else. He was all smiles, sending us pictures step by step, like he created his own documentary on his way to the movie theater.
Nice.
I see a lot of comments coming up here, but I can't read them.
Yeah, Professor D says there are already some 3P non-transforming figures of TF1 that look great. All the mainline is crap, all of it, but there will be some great 3P MPs. Magnus, don't worry.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
Professor D
hoping
is
for.
correct. Yeah, especially if you put a nice metallic paint on them, that would be sick. Yeah.
Hey, Richard, how's it going?
Good. Just got home from work.
Work. We don't do 4-letter words in this show. You know that, right?
Work, snow.
Not bad.
Jail, walk. Gross.
You say gross? That's 5-letter word. You're fired.
Will Septon.
Wow, that's very assuming of you that I can count correctly.
So, what do you guys' take on the new Devastator that's coming out, the Studio 86? What are you hoping for out of that figure?
Have we got any leaks on it yet? Is it just going to be a retool of Combiners War?
No, it's a whole new mold from what I'm hearing.
Let's see.
And it's not going to scale as the same size as the Combiner Titan, so it's going to be a little undersized. So you're probably looking at about the same size as Minosaur, maybe a smidge taller.
Okay, so that's what because I think someone had shown an image of let's see, that would have been Scrapper, the leg of Scrapper next to a Minosaur and an Omega.
Yeah. So now it looks like they're starting to do all the fun stuff now. So, you know, I know there's rumors of Vortex is supposed to be dropping, and then for sure 2025 Silverbolt is coming.
And what about the other combiners, say Defensor, Abominus, Computron? I mean, they always seem to get overlooked, where the focus is always Devastator and Minosaur.
Well, Devastator is the bumblebee of combiners, so they're always going to continue to push him and flood the market with him and shove him down our throats and not pay attention to like the ones you just listed. I don't know why they go down that rabbit hole. I mean, Computron is a highly sought after figure. People will be going crazy like we're trying to obtain a Turbo Man. So I don't know why it's so complex to try to get one done, but there's obviously something they're trying to wait before they can launch it. I'm assuming it might be naming convention. So maybe they lost the license and they can't get all the licensing for the name. So that's possible. And then maybe with the Combaticons, maybe it's a licensing thing with the vehicles. That's possible because these are real vehicles, I would assume.
Right.
Maybe Jeep's in the way. It looks too much like their Jeep.
Say one, just the Jeep. Anything else can be pretty well just fudged.
Yeah, you think about the Hummer, you know, on certain third-party combiners, you see Swindle as a Hummer, and I can't stand that, you know, so I held off. So, yeah, I'm very serious about how my Transformers look, and I don't like sub-leases. It's worse than when we seen a pickup truck with Minosaur. Ill. Or the helicopter with Superion, that another ill. Just wasn't a fan of that.
Yeah, and I think they did something with Defensor. There's a version of Defensor where it's one of the vehicles is slightly different. I'm like, it just doesn't work.
It'd have to be Groove because, you know, a motorcycle wouldn't scale well next to a Nissan 240 as a leg.
Right.
Mass displacement.
Well, that's just something.
Yeah, but you don't get mass displacement with toys on your shelves. You get mass displacement on the TV show.
Fair enough. That's true.
Well, Professor D said
we could put that on every one of the combiners.
Yeah, with the space shuttle on Bruticus. Yeah.
Oh gosh, yes.
I'm glad Professor D actually brought that up because we've been having an ongoing conversation, me and my committee brothers, about what's the perfect Devastator to get. I don't know if you guys are third-party collectors, any of you? So
I have a bunch.
I just transferred from X-Transbot to Fan Toy, so I'm going in on it. So it's going to be a sick journey. But Professor D is right; it does have a lot of backpack on there, but it's all die cast, and some of that you can actually remove. So I don't know if you knew that. So it actually cleans it up a little bit. But their alt mode is horrible. It's like G1 animated errors. There's no cockpit, there's no seat, there's no driving wheel on it. I was like, damn, how the thing's supposed to steer?
Oh,
And my wife is like, it's not Toy Story. It's not going to come alive when you awake. I was like, shit, you never know. It might run into a wall. I was like, fix that.
I wonder if some one of the stop animators out there, if they've made a version of Transformers that follows Toy Story, where it's just like, the collector goes to bed at night and all of a sudden, like, their collection just starts fighting, coming to life, and then just all sorts of stories start happening.
Well,
Impactor,
based
are
on
you listening to this?
I was about to say,
Impactor, are you listening to this?
this is gold, buddy.
based on my collection, we need to move.
Gold.
'Cause I got a lot of Decepticons in my arsenal. I went for the Decepticons first because they're more expensive, and so it's gonna be a bloodbath in here, especially if that Unicron box opens. Yeah, I might leave the kids and get on. So
Listen,
can't
my,
save
my, my
everybody.
figures are 40 years old. They're old and decrepit like me. They're not going to be doing any fighting. Okay,
For 40's not old.
Right?
it is for
There's the
plastic.
There's the trifecta of Unicrons right there.
Oh, we all know what yours does it now. Yours does the whole gravity pull thing, and I'm sitting here just holding my cases down.
Yes, Prime Dynamics. If any figures go missing in your house, it's the gravity pull from Mr. Magnus. Like the multiple Magnuses just suck them in. Which, if his collection gets into a fight, like, that entire state would just have to evacuate.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, it's a wrap. Yeah, I'm interested in getting that studio cell that you got behind you. I got Primus en route now from Show Z store. Like I said, I've become a huge fan of the history, so had to get a Primus.
Nice.
Have you seen the black studio cell that they put out?
I was just looking at that the other day, and I'm trying to
God, that
convince
looks
myself
good.
not to get it.
Oh, it looks good. A buddy of mine just ordered it. He's made pictures and everything sitting up there. Nick, if you're listening, yes, I'm shouting out to you, Nick Rufio. Yeah, he just got it in, and it is sweet. Oh my God,
It is
so
a
nice.
gorgeous figure. But is that what, more Transformers Prime, or what is that? Or what lore is that from, or is it just another
If I'm
repaint?
not mistaken, that's the whatever came after Energon, because that Unicron is Energon, and after it is when they made him black and purple.
So I assume that's either Cybertron or Armada, maybe one of the two.
Might be Armada.
Yeah,
I thought it was Armada, Energon, then Cybertron.
you could be right, because I've never watched it. Yeah, I'm sure you're probably right more than I am.
I don't know. I'm a G1 guy. I could be wrong.
Oh, there you go, TNT. He's very knowledgeable on Armada, so I believe what he says. So yeah,
Cool. Professor D says
we got a new front page.
Dynamics right to alt mode. Detailing is totally absent on Scrapper and FT Devi set in general. Betrayal of the original point of MPs. Hyper real alt modes. Anyway, as for my new 3P Devi Ox Max.
let me respond to that real quick. So looking at that, I assume that they just said, hell with it. We're just going to make the best Devastator we can. So each mode is going to suffer but that leg. That's where its bread and butter is. And if you're looking to have them as individual bots, it's X-Trans bots, because they kind of knocked it out the park. They don't weigh as much. There's pretty much no die cast in the figure. So it's pretty light. And so that new plastic that they're using, like Magic Square is using, which is a very tough plastic, very bendable, but supposed to sustain with, excellent force that you put on it. And Ocular Max is a great figure as well, but it's just going to come in undersized. So expect that one to be at least 17.5. That can go with your normal mainline combiners, maybe a little taller. So definitely got some options depending on what your collection is going to be. Mine's is more on the beefier side, so I went with the bigger bots. I'm 6'5", so I didn't want to look at little figures. TNT just finally convinced me to look into Dr. Wu because of scaling and how to properly scale your figures with smaller, Transformers. So now I've just got into New Age and the whole Legend scale. So certain parts of my collection will be on that lower scale. But that thing is a beast. I'm thinking about pulling the trigger myself. Shout out to Bombs Busby. They are a great company if you can't find things on Show Z. However, that shipping, man, you better have some time on your hands. I think Fan Toys figures come out before you get your delivery with those things.
Right.
So, but great store. So I was talking to TMR Reviews early on IG, and we were talking about that because I initially went in on the X Transbots version, and then he said something that was, kind of true, where he figures QC issues will happen out of 2 of those 6 bots, and so it's going to probably hurt the figure somewhat. So if you have the X Transbots Thundercons, think about that process of what's loose and what's not behaving well in the whole combination of the combine mode. If there are QC issues, I know every robot has its QC issues, but X Transbot seems to have them more when it comes to their combiners. Yeah, but this thing is cold-blooded, man. I know I'm trying to go for cartoon accuracy, but I may just say hell with it and get it. I like the dark menacing look on this one.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this would be a great Transformers the movie part 2 if he somehow was able to come back, because my thought was when they did the plasma energy key, he was in line when the Nebulons were bringing the energy back into the planet, and it gave him a jolt to restart him.
Mm-hmm.
And he was able to self-sustain his own body and create himself by sucking mass metal from Earth and getting the components he needs to put his body back together. So yeah, that would have been a dope story to see.
Charlie C and James both say they do not trust the quality of X Transbots.
Yeah.
And TFJOHNNY Prime has also pointed this out as well, saying the X Transbot drag strip right arm is loose. And Fanzoid for sure the safer choice over X Transbot's REMP scale Devi. And Shiva Kobe, welcome again. Shiva says, I just had a yum crab dinner and waiting for the GameStop to call about Springer next month.
Damn, next month. Y'all getting them that late? So here's the X Transbots version. This is Big Load. I don't know why they named him that. Long haul.
Well, let me go over to you. There we go.
So here he is. Now, as a great individual bot, this thing will do wonders. I mean, as far as his articulation, works really well. It's just he weighs absolutely nothing. He's very light, especially if you use the Fan Toys figures. Like I said, if you don't want to combine them, great. TNT had an issue with him when he was transforming him and trying to tuck his arms under the chest. It's a nightmare from what he was saying. So be careful, because certain bends, and he can articulate that better than I can, because I don't really transform my figures until it's time to transform them. But this one is, I'd say for the price, it's great if you don't want to go down the Fan Toys rabbit hole. This one's not a bad option if you want to leave it as an individual bot. So that's that one.
Speaking of GameStop, I saw GameStop now has controller covers. I couldn't tell if they're for PlayStation or Xbox, but they've got Transformer-themed controller covers for Hot Rod, Jazz, Soundwave. Oh, there's another one there. I can't remember it off the top of my head. But yeah, I would be happy to get one if I could tell if it was for Xbox or PlayStation. But obviously, since I got an Xbox, I don't want a PlayStation cover. But they look really cool, and they come in like a G1 style box, you know, with like all the original artwork and everything. So it looks really cool.
What's this for? Is it just a skin wrap, or is it actual controller?
I think it's just like a cover that goes over the controller.
I'd be interested in seeing that. Most likely, it's probably for Xbox.
That'd be great. But, you know, like the Transforming games were available on both, so I don't think Hasbro has any kind of allegiance toward one or the other. I don't think Activision does either. Well, maybe, yeah, because Activision's now owned by Microsoft.
I need 3 pieces. Initially, I sold mine because I never thought they were going to release the last part. So now I only have Jester and what's that other one? Viper. So I need the other 3. So when they come out in December, I already got those pre-ordered through Show Z, and hope to put them together and see how I really feel.
It's funny, all the extra names. Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I didn't see the last part of his question. So a bunch of my teammates in my TF committee group, they do have the Zeta version, and I have to admit, based off of not seeing it, but Zeta might be the way to go for combine mode. I think they knocked it out of the park. To me, it's just their other modes are just not as great. But then there's word on the street that they're supposed to be releasing a part 3, a 3.0 version of that Zeta Superion. So no telling what they fixed on that. I'm not sure. However, if you're into the Fan Toys version, it's a great figure as well, but it may be a little bit backpack heavy due to Silverbolt. But he does work without installing him, so you can't conform him with the other 4 limbs. Hopefully DNA kits designed, they'll come out with some type of backpack cover, so you don't have to put Silverbolt in there, because he offers more articulation once you take Silverbolt out. But to me, just based off what I've seen taking Silverbolt out, I mean the torso and everything out the box, that paint job is phenomenal. So it's a great looking figure, and I have no regrets.
Nice. Charlie C says, I think the controllers are for Xbox. And TNT Neon Prime says, hardly any issues beside the drag strip loose arm. Alpha of Pack says, what's up at Prime Dynamics?
That's another one of my TF committee brothers. So they all tuning in to come support your show.
Cool.
So appreciate you.
Yeah, we always appreciate everyone who passes by. And TNT Neon Prime also says, Zeta will be my combiner and FT will be my bot modes.
We spent countless hours talking about this stuff of just combinations, and that's what I love about having conversations with them. We can get lost in time where the conversation is supposed to be 10 minutes and it ends up being 3 hours on one topic. And so we figured out rules and challenge each other. There's a lot of debates on what to do as far as like fixing your collection, and we talk about scale a lot. If anything, we talk about scale more than anything else. So it's a great conversation to have, but I think there are no losers. So if you do go with Zeta, you're still a winner.
No, I guess I'll throw this to you because I know we've had this conversation before. Yeah. And then like a few of us say like Toy Warp and myself were more of the old school G1 guys, but for everyone that's more into the newer characters, I guess it's a multi-part question. Say if you wanted to complete the G1 Season 1, Season 2 series, what figures or what lines and sizes would you have to buy in order to like make everything scale properly?
So it's always going to be in the eye of the beholder, because I hate when you tell somebody how to do their collection. It's what you like,
right?
Number one. So once you get that out the way, for me, I pay attention to a lot of the cartoons. So I build mine around the generals, your Galvatron, Rodimus Prime, Megatron, and Optimus Prime. That's the goal of what you want to see. And then you look at specific episodes because they change a lot. So then you have to worry about, do I want the season 1 style? Because if you look at Cyclonus had like 5 different looks in season 3. That ghoulish looking face he had when he was chasing what's his face, Octane, that was more of a scarier look. Then he had the more Bruce Wayne look when he was getting ready to fight Ultra Magnus, when they was looking for Daniel and Willie was looking to find out what Ultra Magnus' birthday was. That's a different face sculpt. And so the size comparison. So I have the X-Transbot Cyclonus, which is a little bit bigger than the Fan Toys, because I wanted Cyclonus to be beefier, so when he goes against Ultra Magnus, it made sense. So Masterpiece on some of the bigger scale characters like your Galvatrons, you probably want those around 9 to 10. But like I said, it depends on what you're trying to do and if you have the space. Mm-hmm. For me, it's all metallic, nice looking Fan Toys bots for my Decepticons. I think they're more sharper. They put more ingenuity into them. I think they're just prettier bots. For my Autobots, I damn near got KOs for those, because the KOs look just as good as the regular ones, and they didn't really have too much into them that you need to put that much money into them. But yeah, certain ones like I said, it really depends on what you're looking for. I like the bigger bots, so mines are mostly tall. And then like there's an IDW Comics 6-shot, which comes in at almost 12 inches, because there's a specific scene where he's standing next to Cyclonus, and Cyclonus is in his chest. So my bots match that. I got my 6-shot that tall over my Cyclonus, even though Cyclonus is already damn near 9 to 10. Mm-hmm. So Look at your episodes, see what looks good, and pick a scene. That's the best way I can say to do it. Yeah.
And if you want metallic,
now that's pretty. That's pretty. Although I prefer the cars on the back, but that still looks good.
Careful, that's gonna throw into like a WWF Rumble in terms of Stunticons on the front or the back for the legs.
Right.
Never
And then
understood that.
conversations you need to have with your friends who are honest with you and see what they're doing. Don't be afraid to look on YouTube and see other collectors to see what you like. Big one for me is TMR Reviews. I look at his stuff. My man Alpha Pack has a lovely collection behind him, and a lot of times we agree on the scaling side of it.
Okay.
But for me, it just makes sense. Like Deformation Space, they make the biggest seekers. They come in at right about 9.86, and Takar 52, I believe that's the Starscream's number. He's about 8, so he's a little smaller. Then there's Masterpiece Megatron. He comes in at about 9, and then there's a IT01 version of Megatron, which is a KO that comes in a little taller. So I got the bigger seekers. I think they just look better than me. So if you're going to challenge Megatron, you better have some size on you, even though you're going to lose. The only figure that I don't like that people rave about is the Fan Toys Astro Train, because I have the Star Toys Blitzwing, and Blitzwing towers over him, and I wish they were about the same height. So I wish they had an oversized Astro Train, because I think he should be bigger.
What's Shiba Kobe saying?
Let's see. She was saying, by the way, I had to replace my hard drive because it crapped out after 6.5 years, switched to 980 gigabyte SSD, but got what I could out of it before it completely had.
That sucks.
Most of everything I have is already on thumb drives to reload on. I've been down that road where it's like, you never know when a drive's just gonna die on you, and hopefully you have backups of everything.
Get that cloud.
And TNT Neon Prime says scale is iffy situation.
Right.
Yeah, 'cause it's not exactly the most consistent thing across G1 either.
Right. Well, if you're mainline, you don't really have to worry about it, because it's only one brand you have to look at. Say, okay, mainline, that's it. This is what they're offering. This is what we're going to do. With third parties, there's so much stuff that you have to look into. You actually have to do research. I mean, I don't even think we looked at dates like this. Like, you just go out with the girl, that's it. But like when it comes to your Transformers, you really have to sit down and think about it. And Professor D knows how many times you went back and forth between 3 brands of Transformers that are all coming out with a release. And then you got one that's showing full pictures, then one's a scope, and then one's just a description. So you have to wait and see what you want to do, because it's not the cheapest thing to restart. So if you already spent $200 on a figure, come to find out later you like the other figure, that sucks. Oh, that's a good one. The Gigapowers, Dinobots.
And then you order one and it gets here because it looked great, but it's this tall.
Yeah, that happened to me. With this one.
It sounds like a mail order wife.
That's what it feels like. So with this one, here's a funny story. So when I first got in the third party, I didn't know what legend scale actually meant. But when TNT was explaining to me, I was playing it off like I did. He goes, that's legend scale, right? I was like, yeah, sure, I know. Then this thing came here, and I was like, it looked like one of those little dinners you get at a French restaurant with like a leaf and some sauce and like a piece of meat. I was like, what the fuck am I gonna do with this? But it is what it is. But now I know.
Professor D says, for Blitzwing, Bill and I both have the X9 G-Wald. He is even taller than Dreamstar, I'm pretty sure. So same problem with FT Thomas. And it's funny that one Blitzwing that came out a couple years ago where between the 3 modes, the robot mode and I believe the jet mode are impressive. The tank, I think, was the one they failed on.
Right. So
I haven't put him up yet.
That's a OG figure, but that's probably was one of the best figures we had at that time when he first released. But to me, Star Toys doesn't have a failure on any of its bots or parts, from tank to jet. They damn near nailed it in all three. It just said they may have made them a little too big.
No such animal. Bigger, better.
Yeah, and then back to what Alpha was saying, you got Fan Toys Dinobots, and then you got Giga Power. Giga Powers are taller than the Fan Toys one, and I appreciate that because I think the Dinobots should be almost 11, 5, 12. That's just me.
That's why.
And I know TNT said pause on that one.
That's why I went with the DX9 Stunticons.
Yeah, but they're bigger than Fan Toys. Well, the four of them.
Yeah, they're monsters.
Yeah,
that's that big son bitch over there.
Yeah.
He's just got a hook on him. Give me a second.
I think it's funny all the goofy names that they give these third parties, obviously, because they can't name them after the actual. But it kind of reminds me of Grand Theft Auto, where they can't name any of the cars what they actually are in the in real life. So instead of the Corvette, you have the Coquette and all those cheap made up names. It just reminds me of Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah. See, that's dope. So, like, if you're stuck, I think DX9 is the safest way to play it. It's a great figure. It's the best price because you get all 4 bots for $3.99 and less if you can find them overseas. It's less of a headache on the transformation. And their weakest mode is probably maybe the robot, but then that's in the eye of the beholder. X-Transbots is great too. I like the sleeker look on that one, but then DX9 is a little bit boring in the chest. I think there's more detailed in the X-Transbot. It's just a nightmare to complete, and they're small. And then we're yet to determine on Fan Toys because they still haven't released Dead End, so we can't complete it yet. Yeah, but like TNT was saying, that there's no failure on that Star Toys. He talked me into it, and it's his fault why I got in the third party.
I was just about to ask because you were really about the main lines before, and then all of a sudden you just third party. I was about to ask like what made you switch.
Well, when I first started doing Prime DYNAMIXX show, he was my first guest, and we talked about that Blitzwing, and he sold it on me so well that I was like, all right, what's $89? I can go ahead and get one. And then when he got here, I was just like, wow. And looking at the mainline version, I was just like, what is this? And so I was just stuck on that one. And then I bought like 15 bots in 5 weeks.
The rabbit hole.
Yeah. So I completely took care of season 3 and damn near finished with season 2 of my Decepticons. And now I'm getting ready to start the Autobots.
Nice.
Welcome aboard, mate. We kept the seat warm for you.
So what do you do for, obviously...
I got one right here for you, Toy Warp. I got one right over here for you, too.
Nice.
What, for the new stuff? No.
I'm still keeping the seat for you. You don't have to accept it, but I've got the seat for you.
I can't justify, like, if it's not G1, I can't justify spending the kind of money on it that I buy race car parts with.
Well, it's G1 characters. They're just not Hasbro.
Oh, but you know what? Speaking of that, because actually, let me just get to a couple more of the comments. Professor D says DYNAMIXX, the 3-plea Blitzwing with the whack tank is KFC. G-Walt may be older, but his bot mode is manly. Your Dreamstar has a little girl's wrist.
Great.
I mean, it's still a good figure. It might be the best one until we see what Fan Toys does. So, I mean, like I said, it's in the eye of the beholder. There is no wrong answer. Like I said, it's what you like. It's not for me to change your mind on it, but from what I've seen in the conversation that we've had, oh man, that Star Toys is hard to beat, and it's responsible for everything that I got. And like I said, I went crazy when it came to them third-party figures, especially Decepticons, man. I'm having a blast with them. And this one here, this Galvatron, the metallic silver ring.
Ooh, that does look nice, though.
Yeah, he is every bit of nice. I've smiled when I opened this thing, when I got him out the plastic. And he is just a gorgeous figure. Heavy as hell, too, but yeah, nice. Man, I have no complaints about going to third party, man. It was totally worth it.
Jonathan says, Charlie C says Jonathan got hit by the third party bug. And so I'm going to throw this question to you, and I wonder if you've debated it within your collective.
Sure.
within the different Facebook groups that I've seen Transformers wise, and I know G1s tend to be the hardest that will throw all types of arguments, and us, we're just like, they're toys, we have fun with them, we don't get that serious with them. But with third party or newer figures that look exactly like G1 characters from the cartoons and everything, it's almost like you're not allowed to talk about them unless it were the actual 84 to 86 toys. So I guess, what are your thoughts on that? Because I've seen the conversations get pretty crazy towards that. And I'm like, well, it looks exactly like what we wanted when we were kids, but it's quote unquote not allowed.
To me, Facebook groups are a bunch of bullies who are keyboard thugs, and they need to knock that shit off. It's not about you. It's about the collection and embrace it. That's like us making fun of Beast Wars. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us don't like it, you know what I'm saying, or don't understand it. I mean, Beast Wars not for me, but I'm not going to knock Anthony for loving it. That's his joint. I support him, and I try to find the education in what he can explain, because he's very good at explaining, continuity of Beast Wars. Yeah, right. So, things that I didn't know, and now that I need to go back and look because of Transformer 1, because some of that lore is in there that may help explain something that I need to know from the past. So there's a story within the story of everything in Transformers, regardless if you don't like it or not. So what if it's not for you? Don't mean you got to be an ass about it, personally. And that's why I don't really rock with Facebook groups, because most of them people are just, either jealous that they can't afford some of the figures that everybody else has, or they somewhere in their mama's basement still asking for spaghetti.
Is spaghetti an option? Where's my spaghetti?
Spin in an argument that I got into in one of ours a couple of weeks ago, where the guy was going, "You're nothing but a what was it? You can only buy Transformers whenever you get your tax return back." And I told him, I said, "Dude, I pay my pool boy more than you make in a year. Don't tell me that I can't afford my collection."
They don't know about you, man. We know you balling, man. So I wish I was in on that, because I would have told them for you. So yeah, it's just that, I just don't like that, man. I mean, you don't have to be a dick about it. If you want to kindly, disagree, like with me and TF brothers, we disagree all the time, and that's what makes it fun. But it's respectful, and we may throw a joke in at your expense, but we don't mean no harm by it. Yeah, Facebook is just terrible. And like when people are trying to sell stuff, saying automatically you're a scalper. I mean, it's his shit. If you want to sell it for that price, that's his business. You know what I'm saying? Shit, you can pay $8.99 for Miracle Whip. Lord knows I do in California. You don't see me going out to Miracle Whip and saying you scalping. So, it just is what it is. That's why I try to stay away from those groups. And I like to be a collector of just good people. And your actions of how you act online will tell you everything you need to know about that person to stay away from them.
Well, that's what this was. Now that since you said it was a scalper, and I remember it was a scalper, it was somebody that came in on Transformers Liberated, and they allow them. Our admins allow the scalpers to put on there so that we can rip them apart. It keeps us from going after each other.
Because I've had conversations with Facebook people, and I told them, I was like, dude, if this was high school, I would have put you in a locker somewhere. There's no way in hell you would say that to me in my face. So, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, be kind, be courteous. And if you don't like what I got going on, go ahead, go somewhere with it. I see tons of things I don't like online. Don't mean I got time to just go ahead and keyboard thug and say all this weird shit to you. I don't know you. Really don't care. It doesn't bother me. It's not going to make me lose sleep. So, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I've cut people off that I don't rock with anymore because of just some of their views and just how they were acting. So it's like, okay, well, if you're going to be that way, then I don't need you.
I just do the G1 stuff. I'm really glad that you guys collect the new stuff, because it's less competition I got to go through to get my old stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, third party is no walk in the park either, too. So, certain things, man, they're coming after them. But yeah, I don't miss, walking, to Target and actually going over there anymore. I've actually went to Target like twice and didn't bother to go to the Transformers section, which was weird to me. Yeah, because my wife already knows the routine. It's Transformers, then we get groceries or whatever we need. Baby has a fever, but let's see what's over there first. If Springer's here, Then we go get Tylenol. You know, that's how this works. This is what you signed up for.
Well, and it's funny you say that because
I have a question. Oh,
Yes,
go
sir.
ahead, Spin.
it's because I mean only because I don't really collect the newer stuff and it's like every time I go into a Walmart, like I'll occasionally pass by the toy section just to see what destruction that Transformer section looks like. But just a couple weeks ago when I saw the Sandstorm, I'm like, you know what, I don't really buy the new ones, but I know, like, you know, Magnus and a few others got that new Sandstorm, and I never had him as a kid, and I'm like, you know what, let me just get him for the fun of it. And he's a really, really nice figure. But any other times I walk through and I'm like, I walk through and I'm like, nah, I don't know.
Yeah. To me, they shouldn't have went with the toy face, or they should have gave us another sculpt. You know, I think that was one thing. And then I'm not a fan of the slipper feet. His feet are terrible. To me, his best mode, I have him too, and his best mode is his helicopter mode. So if I ever do crack him open, it would probably just remain in that helicopter mode and just go with the unique toys version. I think theirs is a little bit cleaner.
Cool. Yeah. And Magnus had a question for you.
Yes, sir.
What third party have you decided to go with for Shockwave?
That is the $1 million question. I think at this point I may just go to Karatomi. I haven't seen a excellent version of Shockwave other than him. And it's possible his KO looks pretty good, so I may go the KO route until we get a nice Shockwave. There's also one that's called the Purple Potato, which turns into the ship from Unicron. That is a nice piece, so I'm considering getting him and a couple of Dr. Wu figures to put with that figure. It's a great looking ship, and I advise you to grab that. I think it's on sale on TF stores. Oh, you got him?
That's
you have him in ship mode?
Shockwave.
It's the gravity.
Oh man, hey, that ship mode is awesome. I wish he had it transformed. But yeah, Takar told me I think was B the number one for me.
What do you do when there's not? It's because you said you're collecting the characters from season 1, season 2. What do you do when there's not a third party for a character? Like, is there a third party for a reflector?
Yes, you have quite a few actually. I think there's Fan Toys. That looks great, man. I wish you had him in ship mode. I would love to see him. You got that one. You got I think it's something Park. I can't remember the name. And then you have MMC. So you got 3 variations of the camera. You got some options, and they're pretty cheap. But for ones that are not in stock or they're just nothing on the market for it, I'll probably just hold on to that mainline figure till I switch it out, or just be patient and pray to God that they try to attempt it.
I don't remember his name.
But most of the characters that are like, that are on the show, they have characters for those. So that looks like the what's that one called? Something Park, right? YOLO Park.
I don't remember.
Yeah, that was like $80. That's not a bad one, to get. That's like probably be my third option behind MMC and Fan Toys. But that's a good looking Siege version.
He's about the same size as the Siege group.
Yeah.
That's not the tripod off of him.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Cloud9. Yeah, that's a good one too.
I was just using Reflector as an example. I didn't think they would have every single character covered, actually.
Pretty much. I mean, it's kind of almost in the same line as what you would see in the main line. A couple of throttle bots are missing. Computron is obviously missing. There's a legend scale Computron that's coming out. But Afterburner is not cartoon accurate. He has 3 wheels instead of 2. And no telling what's going on with the rest of the bots. So it may come out clean. I'm not sure because they only showed us a scope of him. But for now, I'm cool with what I got, and right now I'm building Magic Square's Bruticus, which they brawl, man. If anyone you want to start with, get that brawl. Brawl is off the hook. That's one of the best looking MPs I've seen so far. And the articulation, you could put him in all types of poses. It's bananas. I think, a lot of people are sleeping on that brawl. Great figure.
There's the original.
Yeah, that's dope. Yeah, I got the one GameStop did that came in that color.
The one from WFC?
Yep, I got both. I got the traditional G1 one and then the 3-color one. I forgot what their names are. Yeah, that one.
Spyro.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I got both of those in the main line.
Spyro, Viewfinder.
Yeah, it's very cartoon accurate. Like I said, the stomach crunch on that thing is nuts. TNT put him in all types of poses. He had him doing push-ups and shit. It was it was nuts. Yeah, so don't sleep on that Bruticus, and it's very affordable too. So it's just a little bit more than what you would pay for a Studio Series or Commander class. So it's about 89, depending on where you get it from, 89 to $100. Brawl is fire. Maybe the figure of the year in the MP world.
Cool. Now, one thing I know, one of the earlier shows on your stream, the element that I like that you had in one of the episodes was just essentially almost like what would I say? The word I'm looking for. Somehow I'm missing the word, but it's basically checking in on each other to make sure everyone's okay. Because just as we're saying in terms of the Facebook groups, a lot of the people are just like cyber bullies and keyboard gangsters. And although there's a lot of authentic people that you can kind of tell and connect with on there, but in terms of the collective being a safe space, because really all of us are just collecting toys, collecting figures that we appreciate and love, and it's supposed to be that safe space away from anyone arguing, fighting each other, and just nonsense. So I found that interesting on your channel, like one episode especially, where you and the brother were just really kind of almost more like a heart-to-heart conversation.
Oh, that's true, Vu. I know which one you're talking about. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. With those type of conversations, especially with black collectors, you kind of get looked down on. I'm sure you experienced that from some family members, where you kind of gotta like hide who you are sometimes, because some family don't get like, you're a grown man, why you collecting toys? I never cared. I don't give a shit. I mean, you either with me or you're against me, because I pay my own bills. I don't need to define or answer to you. I answer to nobody. That's just how I've been, and that's how I operate. So if you don't like it, so what? You ain't gonna be missed, because more than 9 and 10 times you end up apologizing to me before I apologize to you. I don't know if that's because I'm a Taurus and I'm bullheaded, but that's just the way it is. And so with the brothers, the TF committee and those who come onto the channel, it's a safe space. Like I said, you can be who you are, even if we're not even talking about Transformers. Certain guys have other things that they collect that's a little dark, and but we embrace it. We educate ourselves on it, and we let that person speak on the topic. You don't know how many people I get that reach out to me like privately, and how do I get my wife to accept me wanting to collect Transformers? Man, how you get that one? Man, my wife will never let me go for this. And I'm just like, Jesus Christ. As long as everything is taken care of in the house, and Bill can testify to that, as long as your house is taken care of, the rest shouldn't even matter.
That is just true. And
yeah,
and there was one Facebook group one time, there's always like the jokes, it's like, oh, the package came in the mail, I gotta hide it from the wife and this and that, but there was one thread, and I just kind of just took the comedic route and replied to everyone, where someone would be like, well, I got my Megatron, and I'm like, well, you and Megatron can sleep on the couch, and someone's like, I tell my wife what to do, and I'm like, well, you and your new figure can sleep on the couch, and but a lot of people, will say, yeah, me and my wife will go out and be like, hey, do you have this figure? I'll pick it up for you. Like they're fortunate to have that, to have that balance where it's like she probably has her own hobbies, he's got his hobbies, and there's no ill intent towards each other.
Well, that tells you marry well for the first part, because if you have somebody who will go to bat for you, and I don't know how many times my wife has went out and had success, and when her success is my success, what I'm saying, she takes pride in it, because I couldn't find the Voltron lines to save my life. She found two of them. She found the red one and the blue one, I believe.
Nice.
And she came back, and I was in the middle of a live. She came back with a Target bag. I was like, what's that? And I'm like, breaking news. I got two of the Voltron lines. I was all happy and shit. She was happy for me that she found it. And sometimes she takes that reward for herself, and that's cool, and I like that. And for those of you that have to hide what you have, you know what I'm saying? Now, that's one thing if you messing up with the bills and stuff and you're not taking care of your home, that's a different story. But if this is what you're doing for you to kind of ease off from the week and, you know, looking at your figures gives you peace, if she can't support that, she ain't the right one.
What Voltron stuff is on the shelf? Legendary Defender is like 7 years old now.
It is, but they brought it back. And
oh, they brought back the Legendary Defender stuff?
Yeah, they're back at Target.
That is weird. I'm just now going through that whole series again with a friend, and they come back in stores. That's crazy.
Yeah, so I got all 5 now. I found the last 2 like a couple of days ago. I was going, and my wife is probably watching, but I'm going to admit this. I was supposed to be getting some stuff for the baby, and it was like, F that baby. I totally forgot about him and got my Voltron toys and getting ready to check out. And I was like, shit, I need to go back and get the stuff for the baby, the reason why I came. So
Courage has joined us, and the Children of Primus does not promote of whatever you just said. Yes, babies.
I got the baby stuff. I just forgot. You know, you get excited, you go back to 84 for a minute, and you get lost. Yeah. So.
Speaking of Voltron stuff, Magnus, since you're always willing to look stuff up on eBay. The Matchbox versions of the 84 Lions, see what those suckers are going for in the box, because I was at the Toy Museum and he's got a Panache Voltron that's in the box complete, but he wants like $2,000 for it. I kind of looked at him like, wait, what? I need to go back and check the prices of my freaking Matchbox Voltron stuff, because that is just ludicrous.
Man, that's crazy. Hey, them Voltron figures can get up there. Yeah. I prefer the vehicle Voltron, but people look at me like a bad call every time I admit that.
$300.
You mean like this?
Yeah. So that face right there.
$250 to $300.
Say what, Magnus?
You say how much?
$250 to $300
a piece, or for the complete one?
For the complete one.
Oh,
I don't think they. Are you sure you're looking at the Matchbox version?
Yeah. 1981 Matchbox Go Lion.
You can get a real lion for that.
No. I don't think Matchbox offered it until 84. So anything 81 is pre-cartoon.
Okay.
But wasn't at the time of the 3 robots?
The vehicle in the box, sealed in the box, is $519.
oh, you gotta send that link.
Oh, hang on, that's the vehicle one. That's the vehicle one.
That's back when it said Voltron 3 on it, right?
Lion Force Matchbox 1984, $499.
Yeah, I see one for $600 on eBay.
That's where I'm at
Wow,
right now.
I guess that was a good investment. Holy crap. Okay.
Congrats.
Mr. O hiding in the comments earlier says Transformers collector's life matters.
It really does.
It does.
The one that has like the 6 arms, the one that's just the 3 guys, and you take the torsos and put them together, and then it's got 6
Oh, yeah,
arms.
he's stupid priced, yeah.
$2,500 freaking dollars.
I would like to see them give it at least a season just to see how it would have performed in the States.
Vehicle Voltron did so bad on the cartoon ratings that they actually went back and ordered more of the Lion episodes to try to save the cartoon.
Well, there's a reason why I like the vehicles, but go ahead. I'll let you finish your statement first.
Well, what's really crazy is, I'm a car guy, so I should like Vehicle Voltron better, but Vehicle Voltron wasn't that great because they didn't do any kind of character development. You had 15 vehicles, 15 different pilots, and you knew something about 2 of the pilots. It was just crazy. You just didn't know these guys well enough to root for them.
Yeah, most of them sound like tech support in India, and then you got 4 of them that look like Keith from the Voltron version. That was cool. But then it was me and my brother, and when you have a father who is a discount bandit, you have to share a lot of your toys. I didn't want to call them cheap, so we had to share. So 15 components allowed us to kind of split it up evenly and kind of have some fun with it. And then when we would get pissed at each other, hey, your Voltron has no legs. That's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? he can hobble over to that road beast. Both of y'all can kiss my ass. So you couldn't do that with the lion. So we had so many pieces that it allowed us to kind of enjoy ourselves. That's why I kind of favor the vehicle version over the lion version.
Well, it's funny, in terms of what you're saying, in terms of not remembering all the vehicle drivers, because the only character I remember out of the vehicles was Pidge's brother, and I think he was like his twin brother. That's the only one I remember out of the vehicles.
Yeah, I didn't even remember him.
But personally, I just think if they went to one-on-one combat, I think Vehicle Voltron put hands on the lions. Although I had a conversation with Chat GPT and he disagreed with me now that he has logic. So
we're gonna have to bring Chat GPT as a guest one week again.
I'm actually trying to work that out. So I'm trying to figure that out, how we could do that, because I've had so many Transformer historian like conversations with it. Is bananas, and I would love to hear Anthony's take on that, on some of that stuff that I found out.
Well,
how accurate it is.
I'll throw something at you, and if there is a plugin that you can speak to Chat GPT instead of just typing into questions.
Oh yeah, I work there, so yeah, I get to use this stuff all the time. So
nice.
It's very like easy to like kind of just like get the logic in there if you just feed it some information, and it does a web scrub, and then it'll voice its own opinions and own thoughts on what it found out. Like we had a great conversation about Quintus Prime and how he was the founder of organic life, and when he created the Quintessons, they were more organic than robotic, based off of what Chat was saying. And so when they ambushed him and took over based off of his lore, they ended up killing Quintus Prime. And then the first generation after Primus released all of those Autobots and Decepticons into the planet, those were the initial ones where people say, well, people in the lore think that Primus wasn't the creator of all, of the robots. It was the Quintessons based off the cartoon. And ChatGPT's rebuttal, that was the second gen and on that the Quintessons created, which it was a interesting conversation. But yeah, that's for another day.
And Fear has joined us for the evening. How are you doing, sir?
Well, I'm full of brisket, an ice cream cake, and several other things.
And you sound like you're talking through a pillow.
Because you're sleepy.
Can you hear me now?
Barely.
No.
It's still a bit faint.
How about now?
It's still sounding like you're talking through a pillow.
If you weren't on screen, I'd be worried that Jess was trying to kill you.
Yes, give him some air.
Give me. I'll be right back. That always fixes
there it is. There you are.
Now it sounds clear.
Oh, that's better. Oh, you got me?
There you go.
All right. Yep. There we go. Like I said, I'm full of brisket and ice cream cake and many other good things. So kind of got the meat sweats going right now. Yeah. I have a birthday next week. It's October 3rd, but
happy birthday.
I'm going to be away doing my cousin's wedding. So I was over at my family's house, and a bunch of family members gave me a bunch of gifts. Got the new Zelda game, among other things.
Dope. Nice. Doing your cousin's wedding, you performing?
No.
Oh.
I'm not a performer.
Oh, it's the way you said it. You said I'm doing my cousin's wedding. I thought you were doing some magic or some shit.
Oh, no. I can speechify a bit, but I need some advance notice.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's a little Optimus Pez dispenser they put on top of a cake.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna fill it up and eat it. Yeah, it's not until next week, guys. But thanks for the wishes. Yeah. I think the main thing about asking ChatGPT lore like that is there is no singular Transformers canon, so things can be true in one story or continuity that aren't in another. So, like, everything it said could. That sounds like maybe it's from the aligned continuity, but like
So-
that might not be true for the new movie, or for example, or anything like that.
You would have to set up the context in order for which kind of response you would like. So if you want to base it off of G1 and IDW lore, you specifically will want to tell it, just focus on the lore and give me a logical theory on what you think between these two generations, and then process that information, spit it back to me, and then we can have an ongoing conversation. So it needs to know what to look. But if you just type that in, it's just going to find what it finds on the web and then articulate it and spit it back to you in a way that it thinks that's what you want to hear.
Yeah,
So talking to ChatGPT is the best way to do it. Is like if you are at a restaurant and you have dietary restrictions on your meal, be as dedicated and in detail as possible so it knows what to respond.
Makes sense.
interesting. Yeah. Have we looked at everybody's illustrations yet?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
That is yet. We'll pull those up soon.
Yeah. I don't know. Wasn't even sure I was going to make it, so I'm just here. I'm just seeing where the night takes me. Yeah.
Actually, I was going to type it out. I'm going to say everyone in the comments, or you know what, I'll type it out still, but everyone in the comments, shout out where you're from, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and give us a rough estimate of how many Transformers you think you have in your collection. It'd be interesting to see the numbers that pop up on the screen.
Gosh, I never know how to answer that question because you've seen how I am at conventions. Like, I buy a lot of things, but I also sell a lot of things. So I don't have a super high number, and it's constantly changing. Because like I bring things in, but I also put things out. You know, kind of participate in the churn.
Now, when you do the counts, you're not supposed to count duplicates, right?
Interesting. That's a good.
That was a question.
Yeah, I know. Like that's an interesting question because like that scenario is totally foreign to me because I don't have doubles of anything, so it never even occurred to me.
Well, I guess Sharkticons and Insecticon armies. How do you count those?
I feel like
Yeah.
you should do.
Decepticons.
Yeah, I feel like you should have two numbers at the end of it, just like with duplicates and without duplicates.
Looks like I never count them. It's never been about the amount of them. It's been about the quality of the collection. I've never, had like I have to shoot for 1,000 and then my collection will be complete. No, it's, I want 3 of each one: robot mode, alt mode, and in the box.
Right. Yeah, but some collectors look at you as selfish, even though you have no intent to sell,
I don't.
which is crazy to me.
I don't know what the heck I'm going to do with it when I'm like 80, because by then, 80s toys, 2000s toys are going to be in the same boat that like boomer toys are in now. They used to be worth a lot of money, and now that whole generation either dying off or not collecting anymore, the prices have plummeted on a lot of the boomer type toys. And the same thing's going to happen to our generation of toys.
Well, I mean, if you look at it from a standpoint, it's like the 12-inch GI Joe. I think that still holds some marketability, and then your Star Trek stuff, I think that still hits. Star Wars is always going to hit. So I mean, there might be some light at the end of the tunnel for Transformer fans on specific figures. If you have a Megatron that's a gun, that's always going to hit. So obviously, since America doesn't looks down on the gun feature, you may be able to do something with that. But yeah, a lot of this stuff probably won't translate to when we're 80 years old.
But as you mentioned with the Megatron, everyone always seeking the gun. I would say at least 30, 40 years from now, is it still going to be that same thing that everyone's going to want? Because, it's almost in a sense like, our parents' generation and slightly older all being Elvis fans. Whereas it's like, none of us are seeking an Elvis collection. So,
Hey, but those commemorative plates are still selling, for
are they really?
Oh yeah.
Oh gosh.
Oh yeah, they sell for $3.99 a piece. That'd be
Wow.
$3.99.
That's hot. And that's signed by him, right?
Yep.
I got one
Getting
too.
it.
So mine's is signed twice. And it's authenticated, my Megatron.
Nice.
So I'm right there with you.
So you guys were mentioning Star Wars, and I'm just thinking about how one of my favorite things to do when I'm at a convention and I find a place that's selling Star Wars stuff is find that wall of 90s Power of the Force 2 toys that did not accumulate in value at all, and they're all like $5 a pop, and just pick up a bunch of those. So like, did those guys like ever have value? I like them because I grew up with them, but it seems like every place that sells them has a wall of them with those, green and red cards, and I can always just buy them for a song.
Well, I think, with all the movies they pushed out, they kind of flooded the market with Star Wars. They made it too easy to get. I think they should have kept the old formula, and made the people want more instead of just, trying to make a buck and just pushing all this stuff out. And I think that's going to happen to all of our good stuff, with your Marvels, G.I. Joes, Transformers, all of that stuff. And then the quality is going to go down, which is going to make us not want to collect anymore. I like G.I. Joes a whole lot better when they were harder to find. Now there's a janitor. They got all these other jobs. Is that a chef G.I. Joe now? What is this?
What?
Like, you see all these.
Been a chef.
No, I mean, I'm just joking, but you see all these other characters that you never would have thought were in the cartoon, and all of these other extra G.I. Joes are coming out of the woolworks. And now Joes that I see that would have cost us $200 in 2020, they're just sitting there peg warming.
It's funny because apparently, according to like the last time they did those like quarterly Hasbro reports, the big 6-inch G.I. Joes, those are like one of the most profitable things that Hasbro puts out. Apparently, yeah, probably because there's no licensing fees attached to them, so they can just make them. So that they like make more money off of those than they do Star Wars and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's interesting you mentioned how they're doing with Joes. I think they did the same thing with Silverhawks. And looking at one of the newer characters on the bio, essentially they wrote the bio kind of saying the same thing, which I don't remember what the character's name was, but it's a black Silverhawk, and I'm like, I don't remember him in the cartoon.
He was in the cartoon.
Oh, and then what? Like, I guess briefly then.
Yeah, I think he was later towards almost season 2.
Okay.
I forgot his name.
Yeah,
because he was in there.
No, the bio, like even on the bio, it says there's like nothing really known about this character. And I'm like, it's interesting they wrote it that way.
They don't do like I know they're doing like Super
Hot
7
Wing was his name.
That's it.
He would get a chicken name.
Yeah, now that you said that, I'm like, Hot Wing. Why would they have done that to him?
Hot Wing, spaghetti, Miracle Whip. You guys are just making me hungry now.
Hot Wing. He has a weakness to flour and seasoning and shit. That's crazy.
Yeah, like what was his bird's name? Like, like Chipotle.
Two-Face. And now that I'm looking at him, you could definitely cast Samuel Jackson to play him. That would be the funniest shit ever.
Is anybody clamoring for a Silverhawks revival? Like I know they're doing the Super 7 Ultimates of them, but
I'm lightweight pissed at Super 7 because I own the Silverhawks in the matte finish, and now they got the chrome ones coming out. I'm going to have to take loss, and I'm probably going to sell my matte ones for like $25 and just go get the chrome ones.
Oh, that's they did. That's a horrible thing to do. I didn't know that was how they released them.
So I'm cool with the store in San Francisco. Those are good friends of mine. Shout out to them. And he looked me dead in the eye and said, honestly, we didn't know we could get the licensing for them until later. We found out late. That's why we're producing them now. So I don't think we're going to get a kid, the little kid, the clown looking one. I don't think there's going to be a matte version of him. It's just going to go gloss. So it's going to mess up your set anyway, since we won't have a matte version of the kid. So yeah, I'm just going to try to get those, and when they come out, they're supposed to hit me up so I can go down to the city and go pick them up. Any of you excited for Mask this year?
For what?
Mask.
Oh,
I was wondering if they're going to re-release the old ones, or they're coming out with totally new ones.
yeah, that's the same. What company was doing those again?
I can answer that.
Was it?
I don't know the company name, but it's I think it's Hasbro. They got the license to them. There's also a movie that's coming out, and they are releasing a toy line with all of our favorite ones, and of course, new ones are going to be added to it. Now, what I'm scared of is like, what's the scale on these things? Because we got ramen toys; those are a little bit bigger. They did a fantastic job on the two that they've released. Do you finish that set, or do you go with the cheaper, less, affordable model? Because they're probably not going to look as good. I hope they look as good as the Kenner versions. So if they can at least give us that, I think it's a win. But Hasbro is the license, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
I found the what you're referring to, because I heard about this a few weeks ago. So the company is the Loyal Subjects.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, and they've made a deal with Hasbro to take over a bunch of properties. So they're going to be doing Mask, they're going to be doing Gem and the holograms. They're going to be doing Rom the Space Knight, which I'm interested in, and a couple other things I haven't heard of. My Buddy, My Pet Monster, Poppies. I don't know what those guys are. But yeah,
it's going to work because Super 7's already doing Gem. They got merchandise in the store. I've seen it.
My Buddy, like, I'm surprised they're like redoing that.
Yeah, right. With Child's Play being a thing.
Yeah.
Well, maybe they're trying to cash in on that. But yeah, I know they give these out. The way these licenses work, like they do like vertical slices where like a company can be allowed to make something very specific. So Super 7 doing Gem stuff doesn't mean somebody else can't do Gem stuff. Just like the other company couldn't do like reaction figures because Super 7 does those. But like,
I think it's 3 1/4 inch figure. So if they're doing like a 6 inch, then I can see them getting that. So
yeah, that's what I mean.
The original mass vehicles were pretty much 1/24 scale.
Okay. Yeah.
Now with them doing a movie, are they aiming at live action or cartoon?
It's live action, and apparently it may be off the comic. So the director is F. Gary Gray, the director for Friday, the first Friday. He's doing it. So Matt Tracker may be a different ethnicity in this version.
Yeah, because he was black in the IDW comics, so I guess they're basing them off of those.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, I'm automatically thinking, the Mask movie coming out, and there's going to be Vin Diesel,
He better stay away from it. No.
Well, I mean, when I think of like a modern equivalent, I'm like, wouldn't Mask just be like Fast and Furious, but the cars can like transform basically?
Mask and Furious.
The Mask and Furious.
So who would you cast as Matt Tracker?
Matthew McConaughey.
Two Country. Try again.
Matthew McConaughey could play that Southern one that was a character.
Yeah.
What's your boy's name with the blonde hair? Is it Archer? The dude on what's that show on Amazon? Alan Rickson? He might be, or is he too big?
I don't know who that is, honestly.
I don't know what show you're talking about, Alan. Is that The Boys? Are you talking about The Boys?
No, I think it's called Archer. What's the name of that show?
Archer's an animated show.
Okay, I might be wrong on that. Alan Richson, he is on Reacher, excuse me.
Oh yeah, big guy.
Yeah. But he might be too brawn for that.
He's too big.
He wants to play Batman.
He's got the physique for it, so.
And there we go.
He's
So
got the
here's
physique for Bane.
the original characters. So let's see who we would cast to replace these.
I'm looking at Jason Statham for your boy over here in the red beard. I think he could pull that.
Yep.
The dude from Shang-Chi, I think I give that to him. Bradley Cooper as Brad Turner. The girl from Castle, if you remember that TV show, Kate Beckett. I think she would make a nice Gloria Baker. I think she would be dope. Too bad Freddie Mercury ain't alive anymore because he would nail that one, or the other boy. Who else you got? I can't think of the blonde dude's name that I'm thinking of. I think it's Eva Longoria's husband. What the hell is his name?
I don't know.
So Hannah says, "Hey, Spin, you're not reading the comments." Now, is that an irony?
Oh, Ryan Gosling. There you go.
So there's a lot of comments this evening to catch up on, but yeah, I could see. I could see Ryan Gosling as
Live action movie. That's gonna be weird.
I think they're gonna do a
So
fantastic job.
so are they? Like I said, are they rehashing the old vehicles? Because that's gonna be a whole other licensing problem in itself.
Oh yeah.
I think Camaro would be all over this.
I imagine
They don't make a Camaro anymore.
Oh shit. Oof.
I imagine it would be like how the live action Transformers handle it, where they try to figure out what car licenses they can get and go from there, basically.
Or find out what company would pay them to do product placement.
Yeah.
That'd make it real boring.
We're gonna put him in an Accord.
Nicole says, "You're thinking of me to play the part."
I'm like, who's got what heavy set British thespian is like big and loud and cartoony enough to play Miles Mayhem? That's what I want to know.
Oh no, your boy from he might be a little too old. From Troy, who was what's his name? Agamemnon? That actor. What is his name? He might be too old, but I think he'd make an all right Miles Mayhem.
Yeah,
hopefully we get a Bionic 6 movie too. That would be great.
Ooh. And James says,
Yeah,
I have a picture of the female member of Venom. Is Vanessa, and she drives a Datsun that turns into an aerial mode.
Is he still alive?
Yeah, I just want to put a pin on bringing back
or
making sequels to 80s movies until we get through the whole DEI thing. That'd be super. I'm all for it afterwards, because it's a phase that's slowly dying out. But until then, just leave the 80s properties alone.
Yeah. Here's a curveball from Miles Mayhem, and I'm sure he could do it. I would like to see a dark side to this dude, Jack Black.
That would be a whole different kind of energy.
He may have something in his arsenal to pull that off.
Mm-hmm.
It would be like a live action version of Bowser.
Oh
wow!
Think you'll sing the Peaches song? And
so if you could picture Jack Black doing the voice acting, like how they physically work to do the voice acting, that would be Miles Mayhem.
Yeah, that's gonna be a tough one right there. You really have to nail that character. At least the main two, you have to get right. Yeah, but hopefully they go down that route, because it shows up in IMDb that it's in production. The Mass movie.
Okay.
That's weird.
How recently
all
was
the
that?
things
I
to
know,
get greenlit.
like there was a period there, like in the 2010s, where like Hasbro was trying to get a bunch of these movies off the ground, and I hope this isn't just like left over from at that point, because like they were trying to make ROM happen as a movie, they were trying to make the Micronauts happen as a movie, but I don't think any of these progressed beyond them just kind of talking about them.
Yeah.
So this might be left over from that.
Let me ask you guys this. You think we'll see a live action Voltron movie first or a Thundercats movie first?
The live action Voltron movie is already greenlit.
Is it?
Oh.
Yep, and I'm scared to death.
I think after the I don't think anybody wants to see them attempt Thundercats after the Cats movie.
Yeah, character's gonna be key. I don't know who you get to play it, but it would be interesting to see.
I'd say they're a little behind times, because Sprite did the Voltron hip hop commercials, and I think that was almost 20 years ago. I don't know if any of you guys remember that.
I don't.
No,
I don't either.
But now I totally want to see it.
Ooh, wonder if I can find it without getting a copyright strike. Yes.
Just mute it.
But you know what? The YouTube bots, they can sense video, not just audio.
I know. I just got in a fight with Universal over it. I know.
It makes them so menacing. They
Spin, I sent you a link if you want to check that out.
Yeah, if I would have saw Voltron attached to a Sprite commercial, I might have drank Sprite for a few years.
Oh, it looks like you may get that your wish. The film will be a part of a shared universe with Snake Eyes, G.I. Joe Forever, Visionaries, and that ROM thing you were talking about, the Micronauts.
What year is that article from? That is my big question. What is the date on that?
No clue.
Because I'm like, they said that, but that was like a decade ago, and then nothing happened.
Well, wishful thinking.
Yeah.
So scroll down a little bit more. That trivia right there. No, you went too far.
There we go.
Yeah.
All right, so that film will be part of a shared universe with Snake Eyes 2021, G.I. Joe, Ever Vigilant, Visionaries, Knights of the Magical Light, Micronauts, and ROM Space Knight.
See, I'll believe this when it happens because, like, Snake Eyes was a big flop. Like, so I think this might be not happening anymore. I'd love to be wrong, but I think that's where it is.
Yeah, I think they rushed that. I think they needed to complete the G.I. Joe movie and made it into a spinoff with an actual story. I mean, I know they were trying to go for an origin look, but I think it was too soon.
It was too soon because, the second G.I. Joe flopped.
Yeah.
Right.
So why would you do an origin story right after your second main story flops? It just...
Well, I think that was a backup parachute when they knew the first one wasn't going to open and we're about to hit the ground. So let's go ahead and put a shoot on this one and see what happens.
They were literally trying to repeat Bumblebee, the movie, but with G.I. Joe. One guy, solo focus, continuity reboot. It just didn't happen the way it happened for Transformers.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I didn't even, I'm not a big G.I. Joe guy, but I watched the Snake Eyes movie, and I was like, this is fine. It's basically just like a martial arts Yakuza film, except G.I. Joe kind of shows up, halfway through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that would have made a better Shinobi movie.
Yeah, kind of. I don't know if it was a good G.I. Joe movie, but I watched it, years after it was out, and after I'd heard everybody already, trashing it, and I watched it, and I was like, this is fine. It's like a 7 out of 10,
My question is that a original story, or was they supposed to, do some things from the comic, and did they live up to that part?
I'm not super familiar with G.I.
Okay.
Joe lore, but I know they kind of like most of the stuff that Snake Eyes is known for, didn't happen. He loses the ability to talk, so he goes mute, and he wears the suit all the time because he got really scarred, and neither of those things happened to the guy that played him in the movie, so they didn't really get to that.
Yeah.
That was an oath he took because his brother killed his master.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was in the first G.I. Joe movie.
Yeah.
What was that, 09?
Yeah, 2009.
I'm still shocked they really killed Duke in the movie. I thought he was just playing possum. I thought he was going to come back at some point. I was like, oh, this motherfucker really dead. When he blew up, I didn't see that coming.
He was like, you better kill me. I don't want to come back.
Yeah.
It's funny. I watched the 2009 one years later after Channing Tatum had taken off, and I looked at his performance in this, and I'm like, man, I know you can do better. You really don't want to be here, do you?
Right.
Because it was just the flattest thing imaginable. I've seen you in Jump Street and other stuff. I know you have chops.
Cool.
I guess he was wanting to play Gambit too bad.
Yeah. He was too bit. Little thought bubble. He's just a picture of Gambit there in the middle of G.I. Joe.
Yeah. What sex is not happening for him?
Yeah.
Well, Mr. O says, I believe you should start with origin stories first and then do the mainline story to tie everything together.
Well, that's fair to say, but if you're speaking on G.I. Joe, I mean, everybody has an origin story. We'd be here all freaking year to see everybody's origin story.
Yeah.
They should have just put an origin story of how G.I. Joe became, as far as okay, we have a special mission, and kind of give us the A-Team kind of speech when the opening credits happened, and kind of go into that stuff, how they put the unit together and how everybody didn't know each other. They were from different branches in the military and stuff like that. They got together for one coming calls to take care of a dude who, has a mask on his face and take down Cobra. I think that would have made a better story.
Well, it's funny you say A-Team. They never really, bits and pieces would mention their origin throughout this series, but they never really put it together until I think it was like season 3, which wasn't their best season, but it's when they got captured and were put on trial, and then they explained the whole concept of why they were on the run to begin with.
Right. And that's cold-blooded because they have you doing these missions and then they say, hey, we don't know anything. If you get caught, you're on your own.
Yep.
Did any of y'all see the movie?
You know what? I don't care what anyone says. That movie was fun.
I loved it.
I love that movie. It was so fun.
It's been a minute since I've seen it, but yeah.
Like
they deserve a classified line. G.I. Joe deserves, A-Team deserves a classified line within G.I. Joe. I also think the Predator characters deserve a classified line within G.I. Joe.
NECA's got the Predators on lock, so I don't think that's happening anytime soon.
Oh, I didn't know that. Well, not the animal. I mean, just the characters. I don't think they're releasing Dutch and the rest of the crew, are they?
True.
Fun fact with the 2010 A-Team movie, the bad guy in the movie was played by Brian Bloom, who also played Bandit in the '94 Bandit TV series, which I just did a video on Cruisers.
Nice.
Yeah, I only remember. Only thing I remember about the A-Team movie was the guy there who was in District 9. He was like a super fan of the A-Team, so he like sent them an audition tape unprompted for the movie, and they cast him based on that. They didn't even ask. He's just like, "Here's my audition tape to be in this movie because I love the A-Team," and they're like, "Jesus, all right, you're in, fine."
Nice.
It did tick me off what they did to the van. I understand that it's
right off the rip too.
I know, man. It's like, come on.
Mm-hmm.
He was pissed. Yeah,
We'll come back for it. Bullshit.
got one right here.
Oh, let's see.
But I want that ramen toy version a little bigger. I'm hoping we get a crossover where it transforms. That's what they need to do next. That and the Dukes in the General Lee. We need both of those.
Well, they're doing Knight Rider, so I think the door's open for stuff of that era. So
They're never going to do anything with the General Lee because of the flag.
You can take the flag off.
That's what it's so funny. The Forza game I play, we can create our own custom paint jobs. A lot of people created the Dukes, the General Lee, obviously, and they've had some really cool ways of just taking off there of the car being like sun faded or made it look like it was sanded off. Yeah, they've really gotten creative with that. So yeah, I guess they could.
You could. You just treat it like food that fell on the floor. You still have 8 seconds to pick it up before it's considered dirty. So wipe that thing off and let's move on. You know what I'm saying? Get that car. We need Airwolf. I want that helicopter as a transformer. That needs to happen. Even the Automan car. I would love to have that one too.
Automan was slept on.
It sure was. Yeah, that was the show. I don't know how you went to the bathroom in that shit, but it was a good show.
I'm really worried about the new Tron movie because, listen, I don't have anything against Jared Leto, but anything that guy touches in Hollywood just turns to a flop.
He's doing Tron?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Literally,
majorly. Like, he's like the driving force behind it.
Wow.
The only time I liked him in anything was in Blade Runner 2049, where they cast him as a reclusive weirdo, and I guess he was just playing himself, actually, in the whole movie. Yeah.
He's like, I can do weirdo. Watch this.
Like I said, I don't have anything against the guy. I mean, I'm not going to say he's a bad actor or anything. It's just anything he touches in Hollywood just goes to crap. And it's like, oh, don't do that to Tron.
I'll say I don't like most of his performances. I'll say it. When I saw him in Blade Runner, I was like, oh, he's doing a weird voice, and then I saw him in something else, and I was like, oh, he's not doing a weird voice. He just sounds like that.
Yeah, he was giving Diddy vibes as the Joker.
Oh,
you see how uncomfortable Common was?
It was
Cut,
Morbius.
cut.
That's what it was. I watched Morbius, but with friends to make fun of it, and I was like, oh, he sounds exactly in like Blade Runner. So I guess he does just talk like that normally.
Damn, that's crazy. I had no idea Tron was coming back out.
Yeah.
And especially after the totally underrated 2012 version, which this isn't going to connect to at all, I guess.
Really?
Yeah, this is
That's
called Tron
disappointing.
Ascension.
You know what movie we need to either reboot or just make a new version of it? I would like to see The Last Starfighter get another opportunity.
It has been greenlit for years, but the guy who owns the rights to it, the original script writer, is one of those perfectionists who is not going to do it unless everything is perfect. There is concept art out there that he has done, and it looks fantastic.
Right.
Yes, I agree.
So everything's
So-
We need another
perfect
Last
or-
Starfighter.
A lot of people don't know about this movie, so it doesn't probably have to be as perfect as some of us would expect it to be. So you probably can get away with a lot of it. I think he should just roll the dice and see what happens.
I was gonna say I watched Last Starfighter for the first time like 2 weeks ago. I hadn't seen it before ever, so it's weird that you'd bring that up. Yeah.
Well, you're younger, so you get the pass.
I got to see it. I got to see it new, unclouded by nostalgia. You know.
That's dope.
Yeah. It's weird how like sincere the whole thing is. I was expecting there to be some kind of like a subversion in the story, but they played everything like completely straight. Also, it's funny that it's not actually based on a video game because it's one of the most video gamey movies I've seen in a long time. They're like, literally, here's how the controls work while you're flying. Like it's a video game tutorial.
Yeah.
Well, that was really one of the first movies to totally use, CGI like that. That type of animation.
Yeah.
I mean, Tron had kind of like dabbled with it the year before. No, 2 years before. I'm trying to think. Tron was 82,
82,
and
yeah.
Starfighter was 84. So yeah, 2 years earlier, Tron had kind of dabbled with it, but man, they really went all in when it came to Last Starfighter. Maybe that's a reason why it might not work now, is because the graphics have come so far and made everything so photorealism. You'd kind of lose that video gamey feel that the original had.
Yeah, there were parts of it where, like, it worked stylistically. There were parts of it I'm watching, I'm like, this looks like the intro to a PC game from the 90s. Like, with the way they blend the live action and the, like, kind of primitive CGI. I'm like just waiting to start clicking the mouse.
The Deceptikitty says Tron Legacy was awesome, amazing soundtrack, and also says is about to watch Starfighter with Ninjatron soon.
Yeah.
Mr. O
was a fun
says, and the army is now doing it with the drones.
That could be in reference to a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And maybe he's talking about the Last Starfighter. Yeah. It's weird how much it reminded me of Star Fox, the video game series, but Star Fox came later. So if anything, Star Fox ripped off Last Starfighter.
Oh yeah.
And made everybody into animal people instead of aliens and humans.
Well, that could be a good movie within itself. I mean, I think they have a great storyline where you can build a good universe and make it somewhat of a live action but cartoon as well, and probably be successful. I think there's a huge fan base for it, and it probably would win.
Yeah, gosh.
You talking Star Fox or Last Starfighter?
Star Fox.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'd want to see that as CGI. I think that's the only way you could make it work with the animals and things.
I think you can pass it off with like characters like Rocket Raccoon, give it that same kind of visualization as far as what we see in the movie.
And with as hot as 90s properties are right now, yeah, now'd be the time to strike on that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm still waiting for a Final Fight movie and Double Dragon, a real good one. And I think we missed our opportunity with Contra with Stallone and Schwarzenegger working together. I think that would have been dope.
Any Contra movie needs to embrace the cheese as much as possible. That's the only way they can get it to work.
And just poke fun at the movie where Sylvester Stallone Arnold died at least almost 30 times before they actually beat the main villain would have been sick.
Yeah.
All right, so just for you, Primed, That's what I've been working on for the last 30 minutes.
Oh, bless your heart.
Ooh, that is a good model of the movie ship.
Does it come with the stand?
Yeah, but it's in the box hidden over there.
Okay, I'm sold. I'm buying it. Yeah.
Holy cow, that looks great.
Yeah, because you put it on that stand and you get some of the check out some of the Dr. Wu figures, because they have the like 2.5-inch figures of Galvatron in the suites, and you put that next to the ship, it's gonna blow you away.
Yeah, I agree. It's like that's one of those figures where like the robot mode is almost incidental to me, because you mostly just want the spaceship.
Right. Question for you, Magnus. Did that come transform, or you had to transform when it came out the box?
No, this is the first time it's ever been transformed.
Ah, damn. So I'm going to have to put some work into it. You said 30 minutes. Jesus.
I've been watching this video on how to do it because I couldn't find the box. It's buried over there in the stash.
That's dope. Yeah, that looking better than expected. Can you blow that up one more time, Magnus? Let me see that one more time.
Yep. Hang on, I just started folding the wings down.
Uh-oh.
Yes, he's going back to robot mode to go in my stand over there.
Yeah, I gotta have him.
There it is.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm getting giddy. Yeah, I like that.
TNT Neon Prime says that Shockwave looks good.
Yeah.
It is.
And he's on sale on TF Source for $119. Original price $150. So you save about $30.
Cool.
Wish I would have got him off Show Z because he was even cheaper.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, didn't I say that he was back up on Show Z? Hang on.
Nah, he sold out before I can get him. Well, maybe he might be still available. If he is, I'm
I
getting
thought
him.
they brought him back.
They did. I saw it, but then I was like, okay, I got time, and then he was sold out.
Now, before we wrap
Oh,
up,
wait. You're right.
Happy dance.
Yeah.
Yeah, 104.
104. Sold. Let's get you checked out.
Now, before we wrap up for the evening, Deceptikitty had mentioned Inktober, which I had looked up, and let me see if I can bring up the information that I have of it. So Inktober was created by an artist named Jake Parker in 2009 as a challenge to improve his inking skills and develop positive drawing habits. It has since grown into a worldwide endeavor with thousands of artists taking on the challenge every year. And we ask the community each week to so now we're going to ask the community each week to submit your images for a chance to win a prize, courtesy of Gotham Central Comics. And so far within the collective, because last week Professor D said draw or sketch an image of something from the Transformers 1 movie. So I have one image from Mr. Magnus.
Don't be too critical. I only worked on it for about a half an hour.
Yeah, it was even less for mine.
Ooh.
There we go.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a good. I like that. Yeah,
Love that scene.
Yeah, love that you have all the mechanical details and things too. I mean, it's pretty good in its own merits. It's also better than anything I could do.
That's why I won't critique it. Yeah,
yeah,
it's way better than anything I can do.
Well, that sounds like I'm damning it with faint praise. I'm not. It's actually good.
So
That's
from
good
Mr.
composition.
Magnus.
Yeah.
And over here we have
That's my attempt.
There
I'm
you go.
not a visual artist. I like to think I captured the spirit of the characters by more or less summing up the plot of the movie there. I did
I love
use-
Orion's face.
I I did find photos of the Yellow Park kits of their like pre-cog forms so that I could base them on that, and that's about the only reference I used.
I sent Spin a picture of what I brought up on my. I drew it right here at my desk. I brought it up on the screen here and just looked at it and went from it.
That is interesting artwork.
Cool. And then
Yeah, you put the glory hole mouth on him. Put some teeth on that thing or something.
Oh no!
don't.
Oh, there
There goes our monetization again.
My bad. And for
Just
YouTube,
messing with you.
glory hole means a different thing. We're talking about, golf miniature. It's a putting green place called Glory Hole.
Just stop saying it, Jesus.
Well, it's funny. There's actually a donut shop in the Toronto region that goes by that name.
See, I wouldn't eat there, but see.
Oh, you're gonna eat there.
Richard, here's a display of images that you drew for TF1.
Oh, damn.
And I got voice actor, epic voice guy John Bailey to post them for me to help promote the movie. So that was kind of fun.
Nice.
You did these?
Yeah, within the last week, I kind of went crazy with the challenge. I just started with Optimus Prime on the stream, and 2 to 3 days later, I have 8 drawings that I didn't intend to get finished.
Hey, dude, these are fantastic, man.
Yeah.
So I'll
As
have them
always.
as prints most likely for the next TFCon that I go to.
Nice.
Like you got most of the, almost the whole cast.
Man, you nailed these.
Got my favorites.
Oh, man. Were you thinking about doing a Sentinel with the mask on?
Yes, Sentinel might get done. I think, what was the other one? I wanted to do Arachnid. I wanted to do more of the baddies. And they just released what was those? Was it like Singapore or Asia that got like those trading cards for Transformers 1? So I keep saving all of those images that I keep finding of at least close to high-res versions of those cogged and pre-cogged bots. So there might be more of this coming up. So
Hey, that's
We'll
hot,
see.
man. That's hot. Are you like a cartoonist?
illustrator. But yeah, I wanted to get into animation. So
Yeah.
this is kind of my little dabble into drawing in between. Like I do like this is like my rendering style is like half 3D or it's 2D like cell shading because I'm born at the end of the 90s, but I love like 90s cell shaded cartoons. So that's why I love doing these characters. So
Oh, man. Well, you're wonderful
fun.
at it, man. Keep up the good work.
thanks.
Cool. Mr. Orlotti says, awesome to Richard. And Decepticitty says, you did every character. Amazing. TNT Neon Prime says, they look good. And Decepticitty saying earlier, for great art, love the perspective on Megatronus. Anthony, that's hilarious. Love it. And Mr. O says, remember to hit the like button, make sure you get the notifications, and spread the word that we have a great channel for everything Transformers, where I will come for you as Badassatron. Badassatron.
Something that will be something that will help artists in the future is I'm sure most Transformers news websites have photos now. There's a bunch of trading cards that came out in China, of all things, that just have clear pictures of like pretty much every character from the movie, including like the primes, which we never even saw clearly, like, and everybody's pre-cogged and cogged forms. So look around for those if you want clear views of all the character designs, because right now that's the best way to get them.
Cool. So
Yeah, I don't need anything else to collect. Jesus Christ.
Well, they're not here. Just people in like Asia or whatever opening these packs and just taking photos of them and passing them around the internet, so we get clear looks at all the character models and stuff.
Yeah, I bet one of those cards may hit like a Charizard, at least for our community.
Yeah.
So now before we round up for the evening, a few things So we're gonna throw the challenge as an early Inktober to everyone. Every one of us, everyone in the comments, and all around on social media. Draw oh, my voice cracked, but draw your favorite transformer, whether it's from TF1, Beast Wars, any of the iterations. It could be a face, the full body, it could be just a logo, and submit it in our Discord channel, which you can find at discord.childrenofprimus.com. And every week we're gonna pick one of the cool images to give a prize, and the prize is from our sponsor, Gotham Central, who is located in Mississauga, Ontario. And just a couple weeks ago, I had a chance to go through the store. So
Wow.
I'm doing a little quick, put together a little quick video of their store. So, anyone who's in Toronto, near Mississauga or in the area, go check out their store, because they've been happy to work with us, giving us things that we can give away since TFCon.
Do they ship to the States?
I will. That's a good question. I will find out.
Yeah. Well, whenever I'm in the area, I always make sure to go through. They always have something.
I was there yesterday.
Yeah.
Nice. Cool. So as we round out for the evening, and I'm always appreciative and thankful for you guys to come through and hang out. And Deceptikitty says yes, they ship to the States.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
I will check them out.
And Mr. O says, got it, need it, got it, need it.
Yeah. Some of the glass display cases, I was like, freeze, enhance. I need to look.
Well, Prime DYNAMIXX. So again, where can people find you?
Prime DYNAMIXX on every social media, TikTok, IG. You can find me there. We do a Prime DYNAMIXX show, aka TF Committee, on every Fridays at 3:30 Pacific Standard Time. All you gentlemen are welcome to come on the show whenever you got time. We have crazy topics. We're not as PG as you guys. We're pretty crazy when it comes to some of our conversations. So we have an interesting topic each week, and we just discuss it and battle it and have some fun with it. But like I said, you guys are all welcome to come participate whenever you guys have free time. Please reach out. I'll reach out to you guys to have you guys on. Also, I do one-on-one interviews as well, where it's kind of more intimate and kind of get to know you as a collector, and just kind of let the people know who don't know about you, plug your channel, and make sure you get more viewers if I can help with that. And and I'm doing my store. Like I said, it's everything from my collection, so everything's in box, ready to go. And man, PrimeDynamics.com, check it out. Everything is for sale up there. Some things are very hard to find, a lot of rare pieces. So if you have questions about it or want to get on a meet and we can talk about the item, happy to do that.
Cool. And I'm surprised you say that we're PG, because I mean there's a few episodes where we're like, we're getting canceled.
Compared to us, we push the envelope. I've had a couple of emails from YouTube. Ooh. We pretty graphic. Like I said, it's a fun show. We have a good time doing it. And I'm on paternity leave, so it allows me to do it during the weekends. But then we're probably going to move to the weekends, probably Saturday or Sunday, depending what the schedule is looking like and how I can get all of these boxes out, because I'm shipping pretty much every day. So it's a lot of work going on.
Cool. And Mr. O says, hold on, I wasn't on the show today. That's why we're PG.
Wow. No lies detected.
And I'm going to throw it over to you, Richard. What do you have coming up for the week?
Maybe some more Transformers 1 prints. We shall see on how that goes. My iPad's been on the fritz, so we'll find out. But hope find out on either Instagram, and I might post a couple more of those reels. I like posting those time lapses of the ones I've been doing, so probably more coming Transformers 1.
Cool. And Mr. Magnus, what do you have coming up?
Oh, wait, how can we find them?
Oh, yes. Hold on, Mr. Magnus. Yeah, how can people find you, Richard?
You can find me on IG on Rick Ray ILU, and I'm the same on every platform, Twitter, and I think that's it, just Twitter and Instagram.
Cool. Yeah, Mr. Magnus, what say you for the week?
I don't really have much coming on. I've got the same things sitting in BBTS. I'm not going to have them shipped yet. I got a couple other things that are supposed to hit this month. So one big box. But yeah, that's it.
Cool. And to our vintage reviews on YouTube, what say you for the upcoming week?
Nothing coming up on the Toy Warp channel, just because I've really got to dig down and work on the videos for cruisers, since it's such a bigger channel. It takes more babysitting. But over on the Cruisers Motorsports channel, I will be doing the second Bandit movie from 1994, the review on it. So be looking for that come Friday. That's Cruisers Motorsports with a Z, if we got any new viewers, with the Z in the middle of the Cruisers.
Cool. And Mr. Fear or Courage?
Oh gosh. Listen, this is the busy time for me, but I'm plugging away at my review of the Dramatic Capture series set. I actually have them all right here on hand. Here's the Soundwave, here's the Shockwave, here's the Shiny Silver Megatron. Hopefully this will go up Friday. I'm also not going to be in the country Friday, so that's going to be really interesting. Maybe it's supposed to. I don't know. We'll find out. It's a mystery. But either way, you can look on childrenofprimus.com under our blogbot section to see everything that I've written before this, and this will go there once it's done. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do.
Cool. And just before we sign off, we have Professor Preceptor. So you have 5 minutes before we end the evening and say goodnight to everyone. What say you, sir?
I just need 30 seconds. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We can hear you.
Yep.
All right. So, Mr. Magnus, you get my award today. Thanks everybody for being on the stream. I couldn't come on camera. I would if I could. I was real busy. I've been busy the whole week. Oh, where'd I go? You guys still see me?
Yeah, still see you.
Yeah.
I'm just changing the view.
My camera went blank.
Yep, keep going.
Okay. All right. So, anyway, Mr. Magnus, what I loved about your art was the fact that it depicts a story, right? It's D. What's the name? D16.
Mm-hmm.
There with Megatronus's head. So that was dope. So I saw it. I was like, yo, I'm the one who made the drawing called Spin. You just called it out again. So like when I saw that picture that you drew, I was like, okay, I got to draw something. So I pulled up a picture of Megatron, and like literally I've had 5 minutes, right? And I haven't drawn anything in 30 years. So this is what I got.
That's you.
Yeah. I like the sort of... the sketchiness works for it. It's really evocative.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no,
He's angry, you see.
Nice job.
Yeah. All right, so there you go. Thank you guys for coming out. Till all are one.
Till all are one.
Until all are one.
Bang.
Yeah. Remember to hit that like button, like he said.